From the headquarters of the Guild of Champions, this is the Becoming Thin podcast, and I'm your host, Terrell. And welcome to another week of your weight loss quest. How did this last week go for you, champion? What new challenges did you encounter? But more importantly, what failure did you go through? And what lesson did you get from that failure? Come on now, don't let a perfectly good failure go by without you getting your lesson. That's your reward for your troubles, after all. Now, if you're new here, I've lost 125 pounds myself after an entire adulthood chronic yo-yo dieting. Up, down, up again. Before I finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired and fat, and made some permanent, meaningful, and actual changes to my real-life lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and to my systems of belief. Because it's all of those things that created the results of my life, and if I wanted to get new results in my life, I was going to have to go change those same very 6 things. Now I'm here each week to help you change those 6 things so that you can get new results in your life. Hey, if you want to become thin, healthy, happy, and in shape, the core 4, as I call those goals, or you're going to have to learn how to change those 6 things. Your lifestyle, the lifestyle at the end of this journey, the thin, healthy, happy, in shape version of you does not have the same lifestyle that you lived before. Your habits, well, your habits are going to be different. The thin, healthy, happy, in shape version of you is going to have very different habits at the end than at the beginning. Not like little habits. I'm talking the big ones, the real big habits, the actual life habits. Some of the habits that you have right now that you love dearly and don't think you could ever change, you will change them. Not only will you change them on this journey, you will do so willingly. It's going to feel weird to do it, but you will. And don't forget your environment. Look, that environment makes a big difference in your life. You are 100% affected by your environment. And I assure you that the you on the other end of this journey, your environment's going to look different than the beginning, and your community. The way you interact with people is going to look different. The people in your life is going to be different. There are going to be people in your life that aren't in your life right now. And there's going to be people that are in your life right now that won't be in the future. And let's not forget about the belief systems. Trust me, you will not believe the same things are true on the other end of this journey as you do in the beginning. And you also have things that you don't believe now that you'll believe at the end. And just as you'll have things that you believe now that you won't believe at the end. Shifting beliefs is a weird thing. And a lot of us, when we approach weight loss, we don't initially go into it thinking that the key to becoming a thin, healthy, happy, and in shape person is to look at your belief systems and change them. In fact, for many people, they don't even think a belief system can be changed. Orson Scott Card there's a quote attributed to him specifically talking about this. He says, "We question all our beliefs, except for the beliefs we truly believe, and those beliefs we'll never think to question." Essentially, you have within your mind a bunch of beliefs that are open to scrutiny, totally open for scrutiny. You don't mind if you scrutinize them, somebody else scrutinizes them, but you have other beliefs in your mind. Your sacred cows, they are not open for scrutiny. They are not open for judgment. They are not open for questioning. Now, I'm not talking about the beliefs of a religious sense. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the beliefs of something like, can you eat carbs and lose weight? For many people, that's an unquestionable belief. Or maybe your perimenopause is just an excuse that you've been making. It's not actually the reason why you can't lose weight. The reason why you can't lose weight is because you won't go move enough. Well, but we don't want to admit that, so we form a belief. Oh, no, it's going through perimenopause. That's the reason why I can't lose weight. It's like, okay, that's just a belief. It might be true, but it might not. What's interesting about a lot of beliefs that humans create about food and weight management and mental health and emotional health is most of us go through our life and we don't validate with a third party human our beliefs. We don't take our beliefs as somebody that has a high likelihood of challenging our belief. We really don't like to take our beliefs to people and actively have them challenged. But the thing is, challenging your beliefs is the very key to changing. Because there are things you believe right now to be true that are holding you back from the success you desire, that are preventing you from unlocking that next decade of weight loss, not like in years, but like 10 pounds, gone from the 260s to 250s. There are things that you believe right now to be true that as long as you believe them, you will continue to regain your weight. And the key to maintaining your weight loss is to get rid of those beliefs. Now, I'll talk in a second about that, but there are also things that you do not believe to be true, that for as long as you believe they are not true, you will not lose all of your weight. And there are things that you believe not to be true, that as long as you continue to believe them not to be true, you will gain your weight back. The challenge is you don't know which beliefs those are. You don't know all the beliefs in your mind that you need to change. Which ones need to be overwritten? Which ones are missing that need to be added? You don't even know what it is that you don't know. Weight loss is a humbling thing to go on. I was just talking with a client of mine today who was asking me about the beginning of the journey. And I said, something that really helped me was that I at the beginning of my journey, I looked at everything I knew about weight management. I didn't call it weight management. I called it about weight loss. Every single thing I knew about weight loss. And I said to myself, let's assume all of it's wrong somehow. I know some of what I believe is accurate and true. I know that. But I also know clearly that there's a lot of things I believe that are either A, just completely and totally not true, or B, I'm missing the mark because I don't understand the nuance. And there are also beliefs that I'm missing, things I don't know, that if I knew them, it would change how I live my life and would result in me becoming thin. Now, there's no grand mall. No, that's not the right word. There's no grand single belief, right? There's not the biggest, baddest belief that's going to solve all of them. The belief to change all beliefs. There's not one of those. And so if you're missing a belief, it's not like you're going to find the one belief and all of a sudden, your weight gaining problems are solved and you're cured and you're going to become a thin person naturally for the rest of your life. No. You're going to have to change a bunch of your existing beliefs, but you're also going to have to go find a lot of beliefs that you don't have and you don't even know they're missing. And you're going to have to add them into your life. Some of you actually don't believe you're an emotional eater. You think you just like food. You think, it's something about your body. You might even be aware, I stress eat sometimes, but everybody does. Even skinny people stress eat sometimes. I'm not an emotional eater. I have had so many people come through the doors of the guild that start off saying they're not an emotional eater. And then they go through my emotional eating course. And they're like, well, Chris, it turns out I actually am an emotional eater. And that's why I've been gaining all my weight. Because I eat my feelings and I eat not feelings because I don't want to feel feelings. Look, we did several episodes, a couple months ago all about emotional eating. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to help some of you add beliefs to your life that, hey, maybe some of this eating you're doing is actually emotional eating. Maybe the reason why you're not able to lose weight is because you don't believe that you're an emotional eater. And so because you don't believe that, you're going like, no, it must be about the food I'm eating, or no, it must be because I don't exercise, or there's something wrong with me. I got bad genetics. But it's just because you are unaware. You're unaware that you're an emotional eater. And that's when you learn something like that, it really helps make the changes in your life, because awareness is the first step to changing anything. If there's something you're doing that you need to stop doing, before you can stop doing it intentionally, you must create awareness to the problematic thing. So let's say you're having a little bit too many calories at night and you don't know that. You're doing pretty good during the day, but something about the way you're doing your snacks, like 300 calories is sneaking in that you're unaware of. And so you keep doing it. And you're like, I don't understand. I'm not losing weight like I should. But you're unaware that you're taking in an additional 2,100, 2,500 calories a week, which is certainly enough to make a noticeable slow in weight loss. You don't know that. And so, and so let's say you're sitting there saying things like, I'm doing everything right. I've done all this stuff and the scale's not going down. This isn't fair. But what if the reason why the scale is going down is because you're unaware of the calories getting in? Because maybe it's a way you're measuring something. Let me give an example of this. Early days of coaching, I had a client. They sent me the numbers. Like we were doing, this is back when I just did calorie counting coaching. That's all I did. And so I had a client that came to me. We looked at the numbers, and everything about the numbers was like, well, all right, you should be losing something, right? Like this doesn't make sense. You know, in the very, very beginning of the journey, if we dial in the calories and they eat the right thing, I mean, we should see something in a couple of weeks, even a pound. And we're getting nothing. So I'm like, all right, let's troubleshoot this. And this was a calorie counting program. And so I said, hey, let's look at your food. Pull up your MyFitnessPal. So we pull it up and we look at it. And I noticed these quick entries for smoothies at 500 calories. And I noticed there was a few. And I said, hey, it just says smoothie, 500 calories. And I noticed it's a quick ad. So it's just calories, right? Like there's no micronutrients. There's no what's in it. I was like, how did you come up with that? And she's like, oh, well, I make up this smoothie and it's like, you know, it's berries and fruits and it's really, really healthy. And my husband gets all this stuff. I get all these things from Costco and I make it up and it makes 4. So I figured it's about 2,000 calories for all 4 and I split it up. So it's 500 calories each. And I was like, okay. And I'm looking through the rest of the entries and I'm like, I mean, nothing else here seems like it's wildly off unless this individual is just not weighing food at all. But the individual's like, no, I'm weighing everything. I was like, okay. So like, this smoothie, what's in it? And she started telling me, you know, it's like the berries and the fruits and things. And I'm like, okay, well, a smoothie, while nutritionally very valuable, lots of nutrients in it, can actually have a noticeable amount of calories if you're not careful, like a noticeable amount of calories. And so I had her like, hey, tell me what's in it. You know, I pulled up Costco and I was like, let's just literally reverse engineer it. Because I'm like, do you know what you made in the smoothie? He goes, oh yeah, I know the portions. I'm like, perfect. Let's go grab the berries. Let's go grab the strawberries. Let's go grab the next ingredient. And we just went and grabbed all the ingredients, looked them up on Costco, looked up the nutrition label. She told me how much she was making up. And when all was said and done, we come to find out these smoothies weren't 500 calories a piece. They were something like 1,000 calories a piece. It was literally double. So she thought she was taking in 2,000 calories a week of this smoothie. No, she was taking 4,000 calories of this very indulgent, lovely fruit smoothie. Again, super, super healthy. And she in her mind, like, well, this is healthy. Healthy is good. I have this belief in my mind that if I'm eating healthy, healthy means I'm doing good, which means I should be losing weight because I have the belief that you have to eat healthy to lose weight. Right? Did you ever have that belief? I did. And so awareness was now created. And this individual was like, I had no idea. You know, I was just estimating. I didn't think it could be that bad, you know, because it's healthy. You see how this individual's beliefs were causing them to not make a decision that's going to help them get their goals. But the person believed they were. The person was presenting to me as if I'm doing everything right. And this is a conundrum. Why is the scale not moving? But then when we went and validated and looked into it, we realized it was wrong. And it was this belief that healthy makes it okay. Healthy makes it a free pass food. It's like, no, calories still count even if it's healthy. Unhealthy calories and healthy calories are still calories. And weight is all about calories. Healthiness comes from nutrition. Oh, see, the belief, the nuance shows up. And I've run into this time and again where so many beliefs about food and what it takes to lose weight get shifted and shattered. That's what I try to teach in the Guild. It's what I try to teach in this podcast. It's what I try to teach in my TikToks. It's what I try to teach in my YouTube live streams. Hey, by the way, did you know I go live on YouTube every Monday morning? Monday Morning Motivation. You can go to search for Becoming Thin on YouTube. and subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll get notified every time I go live. Or you can just set your calendar. I go live every Monday morning at right around 9 a.m. Might be a few minutes late if I'm running a few minutes behind, but somewhere between 9 and 9:15, I always get on. And I'm on for till about 10. Come on by. Love to meet you. Love to chat with you in the comment section. Highly interactive. A lot of fun. But my goal is to change your beliefs. I am here every week with the express intention of shattering some of your old beliefs and helping you install new ones. That's what I'm in the business of doing, is helping you reframe your beliefs on demand to be what you want them to be. Beliefs are an interesting thing. A lot of people believe they're not changeable. You are who you are. I actually don't believe that. I don't believe that a human is unchangeable. I do believe and agree that it is incredibly difficult for a person to change in a permanent, meaningful, and lasting way. I do believe that. I also do believe that it is normal for a person to change for a while and then regress. I believe that is a thing. I also believe that most humans will not change. They will be who they are and they will evolve. Not with intelligent purpose behind it. It'll be trial and error and accidents, and they'll become what they'll become. They're trying to find out who they are, find out what their circumstances have dictated who they will become. And that's fine. That's okay. But some of us, maybe you, but I know it was me, I believe that I can change. I have changed who I am as a person at my foundational level a couple times in my life. And I used to believe that I was trying to figure out who I really am. But then I started thinking, well, I get to pick, and who do I want to be? And then I realized I just am. I am me. What's the old saying? I think, therefore I am. And so what do I know about me? Hold on, I'm about to wax philosophical for a second. Go with me on this journey. I am me. I live in a human body within a human mind. And within this human mind, I have wiring. The body works a certain way. Sort of like if I was in a sports car versus if I was in a minivan, right? I'm limited by the car, but I am me in the car. Same me could be in a little, VW Bug. It could be in a GMC Suburban, or it could be in a Ford, or be in a Ferrari, right? Same me, but different vehicle. My body and my mind is my vehicle. Because you see, I am not my mind. I am something that emerges out of the mind. Yes, I'm getting super philosophical here for a second. Just go with me on this. I'm going to tie it back. I am not my mind. I am the awareness behind the mind. And because of this, I am aware that I have several things that I must contend with, that I must learn to work with and use, because they're just, if I was in a stick shift car, if I wanted to drive, I would have to learn how to operate the stick shift. I would have to learn how to operate the clutch. I would have to learn how to start on a hill. I learned to drive on a stick shift in a hilly neighborhood. That was fun. And my dad had real patience with me as I was learning not to stall that dang vehicle. Whereas if you get in a different kind of car, you have different tools available at your disposal. So, but imagine you're in a vehicle that you can't get out of. You must learn to use the vehicle that you are in, because it's the only vehicle you get. And, well, what is in my vehicle? Well, within the vehicle I live, I possess an ego. I am not my ego, and I am my ego. Depends on who's talking. But what else is contained with me within this mind that I must learn to use? Well, I contain within this mind a paradigm. And within this paradigm is a bunch of beliefs. There's other things that go into the paradigm, the logic of how the world works, my habits. But a good portion of it is comprised of my beliefs. And I have little beliefs that I don't care much about, but I also have big beliefs that I care a lot about. But that's actually not the right way to think about it. It's not that a belief is little or big. It's more of the belief is important or unimportant. Well, what makes a belief important or unimportant? It depends on what the belief is connected to. So I've often said we're a byproduct of our lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and our system of beliefs, our belief system. So we have all these beliefs that are connected to other beliefs. And so the more beliefs a belief is connected to, the quote unquote bigger or more important the belief is, the more it matters to us because it's affecting other things. And then we have within us something called a core belief, formed at the core identity level. It is attached to who I am, to my ego. The ego has core beliefs attached to it. The ego is ruled by its beliefs. When you slip into the unconscious, the automatic, and you check out and let your ego run your life, which you let happen a lot more of your life than you may or may not realize. Even if you're aware that it's happening, you still let your ego is still calling the shots a lot of the time, because most people don't arrive at the place where their ego doesn't. They have full, complete detachment from ego. That just doesn't happen often. And so instead, what often happens is a person learns to manage with, or to manage their ego, to work with their ego, to take care of their ego. You have one within you. You might not realize that you are the ego that I'm talking to. Some of you, I tend to talk past your ego and talk to you. But some of you, you're listening and you think you're the awareness behind it, but I'm actually just talking to you, the ego, high ego. If you don't mind, step out of the way. I'd like to talk to the awareness behind you. Because you see the you back there, you have all these beliefs like sunglasses in front of you, tinting everything you see in the world, coloring it all. But here's the beauty of a belief. Just like sunglasses, you can take them off and you can put a new pair back on and see the world different. But that's only if you become aware of the sunglasses to begin with. You see, many people don't realize that they are going through their life and everything about what they're seeing is being colored by their sunglasses. You wear red sunglasses, you're going to see the world with a red tint. You wear green sunglasses, you're going to see the world with a green tint. It's going to cast a shade on everything you see. You're going to see reality, but you're seeing a distorted version of it as it is filtered through your system of beliefs. You wonder why weight loss is hard? Is because it is your belief systems that contributed to your weight gain. It is your belief systems that made it hard for you to stay with your weight loss strategy. It is your belief systems that cause you to emotionally eat. Your belief systems affect everything you do. Every thought you have is filtered through your belief systems. Everything you say is filtered through your belief systems unless you use your conscious mind and bypass your belief systems, which is incredibly challenging to do consistently all the time. And so we tend to utilize our subconscious mind to get a lot of work done in the real world. It's not a bug. It's a feature. It's a good thing. The conscious mind requires a lot of energy, and there's a lot of things that need to happen, and it is best suited to hand it off to the subconscious mind. Consider walking. Most of the act of walking has been handed off to your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind doesn't make you walk. Your subconscious does. And yet you might be conscious while you do it. You might be alert and aware. But you also could walk and be completely checked out. When I go on long runs, I will actually check out of my body while running in the woods on trails with roots and hills. And I can run for miles and barely think about what I'm doing and have my mind lost in the clouds about something else. I do it all the time. It's fun. I didn't do it at first. I would trip. I had to learn the trails, train my body, train my subconscious so that I could hand over running to the subconscious. Many of you, the way you approached your food in the past that led to your weight gain, you left a lot of your food choosing up to your subconscious. You left a lot of your emotional regulations. How should you respond emotionally to your subconscious? But when we say you left it up to your subconscious, I mean you left it up to your ego, and your ego uses your belief systems as the reference list of what is and is not possible, what is true and what is false, what I should do, what I should not do. Your ego looks to this list of these beliefs, and these beliefs are hard to change. Otherwise, you'd be like a paper bag drifting in the wind. Every time a new idea would come along, you'd change your mind. So you need a little bit of resiliency to your belief systems. But the problem is, if you are too rigid in your thinking, if you are too absolute, I cannot change, there's only one right way to see something and everything else is false and cannot be believed. If you look at things that way, you run the risk of becoming stuck in a fixed way of thinking. There's even a term for that, a fixed mindset. You must take your mindset and set your mind to be in a growth mindset or an open mindset. An open mindset means it is possible that what I believe to be true might not be true. And what I believe to be false might actually be true. We question all our beliefs, except for the ones we truly believe. Those we'll never question, because as far as our mind is concerned, it is a fact. And what the mind believes to be true is true as far as that mind is concerned. Confucius once said, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. Why? Why is that? It's because of the power of belief. Now, there's the belief in I believe I can lose weight. Yes. But then there's the belief of I believe to lose weight, I must track calories and eat healthy and not eat after 9, and I can only intermittent fast in my 8-hour fasting window. Nope, those are all just beliefs. Are they true? Maybe. They're not. But you believe them. I get into discussions with people every day about their beliefs. Belief challenging is what I do by profession, because it's how I changed. It's why I start every podcast episode saying we are a byproduct of our lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and belief systems. When you go to change your community, what do you think is going to be the thing that helps you decide how to change your community? It will be your beliefs. When you go to change your environment, what is going to tell you how to change your environment? Well, yes, your community will play a role, but your beliefs. You will see that your beliefs touch everything in your life. So it would be fair to say, if you want to get new results in your life, begin with new beliefs. But what's interesting about a new belief? How do you create a new belief? Well, you see, if you've created a problem with a set of beliefs, you cannot create the solution with the same set of beliefs. You must adopt brand new beliefs. How do you do that? You see, you can't go to the mind and say, don't think this anymore. You can try. That doesn't typically work. What works much better is to say, brain, think this. You don't say, brain, don't think of that. Think of this. You can, but it's just, this is what I think. I think this. I think this. I think this. This is truth. I'm going to think this. And then you get other people to tell you this is true because of this. This is true because of that. This is true because of this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason. This is false because of this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason. You begin to build an entirely new belief system, a network of beliefs within your mind. But what's interesting is when you begin to do this, sometimes when you change one belief, only that belief changes and nothing else. Sometimes when you change a belief, it has a cascade effect. I call it a ripple effect. It changes other beliefs that are connected to it. It recontextualizes the adjacent or connected beliefs. Some beliefs, when you go to change them, they're tied to another belief that keeps reverting it back. Often core beliefs will do this. This happens a lot with people with trauma. They'll change, but then the core trauma beliefs flip their mind back. This happens with a lot of people with weight loss. A person will change, and then something will happen 6 months later that flips the belief systems back to the previous home point. Because belief shift requires repetition and time. Yes, you technically can change a belief in a blink of an eye, but that's called an emotional shock. An emotional event, and it just sends a shockwave through the electrical system, so to speak, of your mind, of the wiring, and you literally change belief systems instantaneously. Sometimes a brand new belief is installed instantaneously against your will. Sometimes when that belief system is installed, it is overriding other beliefs that were below it that are no longer accessible because this new belief supersedes them. And because this new belief supersedes them, the other ones are never getting used. How do you get rid of a belief? You don't use it. If you don't use it long enough, it atrophies. Literally, I mean literally, the neurons in your mind begin to atrophy, and the pathway that your brain takes, it begins not taking it because it needs those neurons for other purposes, and they get repurposed to the beliefs that you are thinking about, that you are focusing on. You must focus on shifting your thinking, shifting your beliefs about what you can do, about what you can't do if you want to lose your weight and keep it off for good. If you fail to do that, if you fail to change your beliefs, and all you do is change your behaviors, your lifestyle, your habits, your routines, your environment, community, but you leave your belief systems intact. Your belief system contains all the elements of your belief system, of your lifestyle, habits, and routines, environment, community. And if you leave the belief systems intact, your belief systems will begin to reinstall all the old lifestyle, habits, and routines. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever changed and then felt yourself pulling back? I know you have. You've tried to lose weight before, and you felt it. You felt the pull of the old ways. That is the belief systems trying to reassert itself and reinstall the old ways as you're trying to delete them. It's tricky. It's tricky to do it, but it can be done. Repetition is your friend. You continue to repeat the new belief. You talk about it with other people that support the belief. And then you get people to reaffirm the belief. And then you find other supporting beliefs to support that belief. Like the belief that there are no good foods and that there are no bad foods. There is just food. That is a belief that I adopted. And that belief helped me lose all my weight and keep it off for good. Or how about the belief that there are no good emotions and there are no bad emotions? There are just pleasant and unpleasant emotions, and all emotions are worthy of expression. What if you believe that versus the old belief of there are good emotions that I should feel as much as humanly possible and there are other bad emotions that I should avoid at all costs? Did you ever consider that that belief right there is why you're big? Because you have all these beliefs that you're avoiding feeling, and the only way you know how to avoid feeling them is by using food and TV shows and movies and video games and doom scrolling to suppress and numb out and avoid feeling those feelings. But of course, when you do that, you never learn how to feel and process those feelings. Part of my weight loss journey involved me allowing myself to feel every human emotion without judgment, without shame, without guilt, and learning how to listen to the signal and what does it mean. I'm still learning these things, but realizing that I can express and feel my emotions. And you know what happened? My desire to emotionally eat went down. And you know what happened when my desire to emotionally eat went down? It became easier to keep the weight off. And you know what happened when it became easier to keep the weight off? I could lose weight the easy way. I didn't need to crash it off because I'm not gaining it back all the time. It's very important to change your beliefs. If you don't change your beliefs, you'll find your way back to who you were before. So take a look at your system of beliefs this week. What are some assumptions that you think are fact? I want to challenge you this week. Find a belief and destroy it. Find something you believe about food, about movement, about health, about emotion, about your own wellness, about who you are as a person, about what you can and cannot do. Find a belief about you that you believe to be true and go disprove it. Go find the truth. Feel what it feels like to change a belief. Practice. If you do that, and then you find the real beliefs that are getting in your way and you go change them, oh, your life's just going to keep changing and changing and changing. Now go have a great week on your weight loss journey, champion. And I'll see you next week on the Becoming Thin podcast.